Good evening. I'm Christy Mathewson. I was born in a small town, Factoryville, Pennsylvania, the eldest of 6 children, and named after my uncle, Christopher Mathewson, back on August 12, 1880, and therefore am somewhat old for a baseball player. September 23rd, 1908, my New York Giants were hosting the Chicago Cubs, the hated Chicago Cubs. And the scoreboard out at the Polo Grounds read, Chicago won, New York won. My Giants were batting with 2 outs, bottom half of the 9th inning. Over on first base was the slow-footed Moose McCormick, and on deck was a 19-year-old Yannigan rookie named Fred Merkel, who was starting the very first full game of his entire big league career. And then it all happened. Johnny Evers, Chicago's little stump crab of a second baseman, started jumping up and down, screaming at the Cubs center fielder, Artie Hoffman. Solly, Solly, get the ball, get the ball, get the ball! What are you talking about, Evers? Get the ball, the game is over! No, no, Rule 59! Merkel never went to second base, the Yannigan never touched second base! Get the ball, get the ball, get the ball! Now look at his field all day. Evers got the ball. He touched second base with it. Merkel's on his way to the clubhouse. It's a force out. Under Rule 59, the run don't count. We got to keep playing into the 10th. What's it going to be, O'Day? Well, Don't you me, you maggot. No, you can't wiggle out of this one. You were there 2 weeks ago in Pittsburgh. You said you didn't see the play then. Don't you give me any of that I didn't see it crap today. But look at this field, Frank. We can't play on. Yeah, you're right, O'Day. We can't. You tell John McGraw to clear this field so we can keep playing into the 10th. If he can't do it, this ain't no kind of a tie. It's a forfeit. Forfeit to the Chicago Cubs. You be a man, O'Day. You make the call. But hand it to John McGraw. He taught us how to look forward to pennants yet to be won, not back on championships already won or lost. It's a good thing I don't allow my boys to remember how oblivious you were yesterday, too, you sorry sacker. The only good umpire is a dead one. So, I punched Robbie in the ribs, called it a foul ball, and I sent that runner back. An alibi is sound and needed in all competitions, because the basic foundation for success is having confidence in yourself. You can never afford to admit that any opponent is better than you are. So if you lose to someone or something, there must be a reason. A bad break? You must have an alibi to know why you lost. And if you haven't a reason, you must create one, because your self-confidence must always be maintained. Therefore, I always said, always, always have an alibi. But here's the important part. Always, always keep it to yourself, because that's where your alibi belongs. Lose graciously out in the open, but to yourself, lose bitterly and learn from it. You can learn very little from a victory, but you can learn everything from defeat.
Hello, Mr. McGraw. My name is Charlie Faust, and I'm a pitcher. And I've come all the way from my hometown in Marion, Kansas. Yeah, that's great, kid. And I went to this fortune lady back in Marion, and she told me I was going to be famous and in all the headlines of the newspapers, and for $5 she would give me a full reading. So I dug down into my trousers, and I pulled out my last $5 bill, and I handed it over, and she told me that all I had to do to be famous and in all the headlines of the newspapers was to pitch for the New York Giants. So here I am, Mr. McGraw. I'm a pitcher. Yeah, that would get you in all the headlines of the newspapers, all right, kid. Oh, and she said that if I was pitching for the New York Giants, we would win the pennant. She said, what? Oh, it says so right here, Mr. McGraw. Says we will win the... Let me see that. Why, I love fortune ladies, kid. And I love winning pennants. Tell you what we'll do. Why don't we take you down to the St. Louis ballpark and we'll see what you've got. Oh, gee, that'd be swell, Mr. McGraw, but, gee, I haven't got a mitt. Well, really? Well, don't worry about that none. Kid what looks like you probably ain't got no need for no mitt.
Another overthrow sent Charlie homeward. Unknown to him, the ball got to Paviton in plenty of time to tag him out, but it didn't matter. Charlie slid into home, jumped up, covered with mud, spun to the crowd, and screamed, "Hi!"